Kia ora sis, could you tell the viewers how you got started in carving?
Kia ora bro. Tēnā koutou, my name is Moewai Aterea. My father is Ngāti Manupoto and he comes from Moko. So Moko is our awatapu, Tuhinga Kākāpo is our maunga, and Tainui is our waka. Waikorara is our hapu, Maniaroa te marae, and Mate Haere Ritere tōku pāpā. E moi ana ia, taku mama, no taranaki maunga tōku mama, korahaupo tōku waka, a taranaki te iwi, Ngāti Haupoto, Ngāti Tūwaka Hekerangi, Ngāti Tara, ōku hapu, o pōtakataka tōku pā, ko te whānau waiwiri me te whānau o aia, ōku mātua tūpuna, me te whānau rātahi. Ko Clara June waiwiri taku māma. Toko whitu o mātou, kei Wanganui ahau, tokatoru kei Mui ahau, tokatoru kei Muri ahau. So no reira tēnā koutou. So I started in 1990. Before that I was looking after my grandmother and she passed away in 1990. So after that, yeah, I just wanted something to do. And I remember thinking about that word carving. So I went and got the newspaper and I opened it up and I saw this word carving. It's the only word that I saw in that newspaper. So I rang them up and I joined the carving school here at Rangimaria Arts and Crafts, up there by Paritutu. I was only supposed to be there for 3 weeks, but I ended up staying there for about 8-9 months. And yeah, and just carved and carved and carved all that year. It was absolutely beautiful. But before that, in the late 80s, when Te Maori, that big exhibition, Te Maori went around the world, I think, or a few countries overseas somewhere. Well, when it came home, there was an exhibition of it in Auckland. I was working up there at the time. And my boss, Pākehā Whala, I was doing etching then, and he made me take the day off and told me to go to this exhibition. So I went. That's what really inspired me, and that's when I first learned about my Māoriness and what it was to be Māori and the arts of whakairo. So, you know, that stayed on my mind for many years until my nanny died, and then that word came back to me. Because I know that if my nanny was alive, she wouldn't have wanted me to carve. So when I think about it now, I had to wait for her to pass away before I could go into that world. So, you know, so I went in there because that's what I felt that I wanted to do. So, you know, when I think about that time now, I know now that that was my tūpuna telling me, here's your gifts in here, you go here. You know, so that's why I don't listen to people when they say women shouldn't carve. It's a load of bullshit. Because, you know, if you listen to yourself, you can hear your tūpuna. And, you know, they sent me to that world and to carve. So I went in there for a good 8-9 months, and, you know, lots of things happened to me then. There were hapu coming to visit me at that school telling me I had no right to be in there. It wasn't nice. And so, you know, I realised that they were just a bunch of colonised Māoris who actually knew nothing. So, haere tonu ai, I just kept going. I tried to get into, you know, different wānanga around the country. Went to Tainui and they said no because I was a woman. And went to Raukawa and they said no because I was a woman. So I knocked on Awanui Arangi's door and they said yes. So yeah, I just packed up and left Taranaki and went up there. But that didn't happen until 2002. So before that, I met up with a group called Tūtama Wahine o Taranaki, and they supported me. they supported me with te reo when done some reo, and supported me in terms of the counselling, so I had to do these counselling courses, because you know, when you go into te ao whakairo, when you go into that world, you know, you have to fix yourself up and grow up and let some things go, so you can make room for new things to come in. So that's what happened from 1991 to about 2002. I spent my time learning te reo, learning the history, and cleaning up my behaviour, because all of my family had left and went to Australia, and so I was here by myself, you know, by my aunties and uncles and that were here, but I didn't really have much to do with them. So, you know, I wasn't really alone, although, you know, I was. I didn't feel alone. Whakairo doesn't make you feel alone. When you get into the arts, you feel whole, and it fills you up, because you're learning things every day, different patterns and stories, and you're learning how to hold a chisel and how to make it work like a pencil, you know. So during that time there were lots of dreams that I was having, where I'd wake up in the middle of the night and carve it. So yeah, it really got to me, whakairo. So in 2002 I finally got accepted into whare wānanga o Awanuiarangi, and I went and had an interview up there with Tikwiti Stewart, or James Stewart his name is, and I went and had an interview with him, and he took me into the carving room and he showed me some whakairo in there and asked me if I knew what they meant, and I did. I knew what they meant. So that's how I got into the carving room. It was awesome. So there was a pōwhiri for us, and 25 tāne came, and I was the only waini at that time. And yeah, it was really challenging, but I was so damn excited I didn't give a damn. I just really yearned for wood and for chisels and to learn. It's all it was about for me. And so these guys that all joined up some of them came from prisons, and some of them came from different iwi all around the country, and most of them were really badly behaved, but they were all just trying to find themselves, you know, just like me. So that first year was, you know, really challenging. So yeah, carving big popo, and yeah, learning how to draw. Well, I didn't know how to draw, but I had a lot of visions and I knew what things looked like. So it was trying to learn how to draw what I knew, what I saw in my head. So I ended up getting a degree there, and all those tāne ended up leaving. They couldn't hack the pace after a year, but I fell in love with it so much. I just hung on to it. So about my third year, we learned traditionally, which means, you know, we didn't learn from a computer. It was all hands-on. You know, you hear a kōrero, you hear a story, you draw it, and then you carve it. And you know, but I was used to hearing a story and then carving it, not even drawing it. So that could have then, the carving school taught me how to draw first and then put it on the wood. We did some amazing things, you know, helped carve a whare tūpuna for Pauroto Ngārepo and his marae, and did a big huge war for the CEO of the whare wānanga Awanuiarangi at that time. Yeah, it really just opened my mind up, and it made me really strong inside. It made me mentally strong, physically strong, and emotionally strong. That's what whakairo does to you. Sat with an old fella called Ching, and at the time they had the mātātua carved house and a big shed that they were that they had just, I think they had got that back a few years beforehand from, not sure where, but anyway, you know, a lot of sad things happened to that house, and so they were refurbishing it. So, you know, I was really lucky to be allowed to go into that shed and have a look at those carvings, because they were just, just amazing. That house that now stands today, and the world goes there next to Wairaka and Whakatane. Just amazing ancient carvings. I think they were carved about 1860. Until, you know, the government of this country got their ugly hands on it and took it overseas to exhibit it. So yeah, so that journey was really awesome journey. And so for 3 years I did a bachelor's degree in the traditional way, and then after that my whanaunga from Taranaki nei, Rangi Kepa, came up there, him and his partner Julie, and they came up to the carving school, and then I had another couple of years with them, and so that helped me transition into you learning computers and drawing on computers. And when all you're used to is a pencil and a chisel, and then you've been given a computer. Yeah, that was really challenging and really hard, but I got through it and ended up getting my degree in whakairo. After that I came home back to Taranaki, because, you know, you've got to go home. So I came back and came back to my old rōpū tūtanga waiini o Taranaki, who supported me all the way through carving school. They were just awesome. And I came back and got involved in that rōpū and became their resident carver, and also became a domestic violence facilitator for tānema and menga wainema. And I think I had to do that after that, because, you know, I found the tānema in the carving room really badly behaved. Some of them were just, you know, I just didn't think they had the right to touch a chisel with that kind of behaviour that they had. So it helped me to go back to Taranaki and become a facilitator. So I've just been doing that really, and just carving on the side, and did a couple of popo for a few marae, and, you know, just not plugging at it bit by bit, but the whole time really just putting a project together. I've always wanted to carve a marae or atua wahine, and so over the years I've just been drawing and looking at what that might look like. So yeah, that's a project that's coming. So now my where we at? We're at 2023 now. In 2021 I went to Australia and brought my mum home, and my younger brother followed. And that was the best thing I ever did, because my brother is a root. He's a computer wizard. So he came home and he took a lot of all my drawings that I had hidden away, and he put them on his computer and did some graphic magic on them, put some colour in them, gave them a whole new kōrero, you know, just another. And so when I saw that, it just opened my mind up again. So it's time to finish with violence, time to let that go, and it's now time to go back to whakairo. So you'll see all my mahi on there. A lot of it's not there, but, you know, carved a lot of tiko and being part of a lot of carving groups, and just helping them carve and learning from that. You know, I don't really have any passion of teaching anybody. I just really just want to do it. But my future plan is to carve a whare of atua wahine. And so I'm looking at 20 po. Doing that, one of them will be in a rock, and another one will be in clay, and then 18 of those will be in wood. So yeah, that's a project that's I'm looking into now. But most of the stuff that I'm doing now is just in preparation for that. You know, making hoi and making waka, making everything, because those will be the add-ons for my major project that's coming. So nō reira tātou te whānau. I'm really proud my brother's home, because, you know, now I tiaki taku tuara ia. So, you know, the carvings that I'm doing now is just to get some money together for this big project that's coming up. That I'm looking at. It's, you know, I'm 62 now, 63 this year, and hopefully I'll be finished that project by the time I'm 70. Something that I want to leave behind. You know, don't have any tamariki. I have a wife. We've been married 33 years. And so, you know, when you have a life, you have to leave something behind. And so I hope to leave this whare of atua wahine and what that looks like and what they are about for our tamariki, our eke mai nei, for our future tamariki. And to say to all women, follow your heart, because that's where your tūpuna talk to you. Don't listen to your mothers, don't listen to your nannies, don't listen to anybody, because they don't know. I don't think they know. And follow yourself and hear your own calling that only you hear, because I did. So yeah, that's where I'm at now, preparing for my next project. Nō reira tātou te whānau, he mihi tuatahi ki te tō tātou maunga taranaki titohia, me taku hapu, Ngāti Tara, Ngāti Haupoto, tūpaka hekerangi, ki te taha tōku pāpa, tōku awatapu, ko mokau, me tō tātou maunga, ko tuhinga kākāpō, me tō tātou marae ko Maniaroa. Moe mai ki taku pāpa, ora tonu taku māma, I kaua ana ki ngā whānau katoa, nō reira, tēnā koutou, Māori ora ki a koutou.
Yummy. Thank you, Moewai, for the inspirational story, and I love working with you, and I'm very proud of you. Mauri ora whānau.